Good evening everyone, this is the Great Pumpkin speaking and welcome to this new stream of Final Fantasy XIV. Tonight we're going to be continuing the main quest as well as unlock our Paladin job. Still need a little bit of XP, but we should earn that fairly quickly. So let's get going. Our first order of business is to go report to Taru, which is what we're going to do right here. Well, if it isn't my favorite adventurer, welcome back, Kukumo. Lady Minfila awaits you within the solar. Please enter at your leisure. So you were entirely useless and there's a car blocking the stairs. That's rude. Well, never mind that. Somebody's requesting cookies in the chat. Oh well. Alphino, I'm given to understand that the matter of Remu has been finally been resolved. I fear resolve bespeaks a permanence we cannot rightly claim, yet I'm well satisfied that the Lord of Levin will not trouble us in the foreseeable future. Your satisfaction is assurance enough for me. How fares the investigation? Well enough, Tancred is sparing no effort. There are many and one, just as you suspected. Their purpose, however, eludes us still. I see. I have been meaning to ask, but is Alize quite well? I feel as if I've scarcely seen her in recent days. Oh, you haven't, and nor have I, alas. Alize has chosen to walk her own path, stubborn girl, but you may be assured that our destination remains the same. And on that note, I take my leave of you. I trust the Baldician report will serve you well. I take it we can proceed as discussed. Why do you ask? You scarce need my permission to act. Man, I'm already bungling the dialogue completely. Oh well, never mind. Hi there. I don't remember. Were we formally introduced outside of the... how can I say, remembrance services? I kind of forget. It is good to see you again, Kukumo. Yay! I have been looking forward to congratulating you on your triumph in the Twelveswood. Owing to your efforts, conflict has been averted. Truly, you have done the Scions proud. With that, we can strike Remu from the list. So who's next? The Hatagan and Leviathan? He is one of the more dangerous primals. I'm all in favor of that. The Lord of the World has not answered his minion's call of late, nor is he expected to do so in the near future. Aww. While the Sahagin remains as aggressive as ever, they lack the quantity of crystals required to call for their god. As with the Sylphs, we can leave them to their own devices, for a time at least. Yeah, tell that to the people of Limsolominsa, eh? For a time, bears repeating, we can ill afford to fall complacent. There's Y'shtola crashing the party again. It is as Y'shtola says, unless we know the minds of the beast tribes, we cannot predict with any certainty when next the primal will return to plague the land. This being the case, we must proceed with as much haste as prudence allows. Any word on Titan? The Maelstrom keeps the kobolds under constant observation. We shall hear from them ere long. You may depend upon it. Indeed. So then, of all the known primals that have been active in recent times, we are left with... Gridania! Wait, I mean Garuda, who is the primal of the Ixal who live near Gridania. Yeah, that's what I mean. So many moms to cover. Would that there were a more efficient way to conduct our surveys. Were he still with us, we should not long have waited for a more practicable solution. She's not wrong there. Where in the world are you, Chief? Actually thought she meant Louisoix, but whatever. But one sure step at a time. Henceforth, the Order of the Twin Adder will handle all matters pertaining to the Sylphs, under the sage guidance of the Seed Seers. I bid you all to enjoy a moment's respite. You have earned it. So, time to team building exercises, I take it? Or maybe I'll get a task as everyone leaves. Yep. Did I call it or what? Is there something else, Kukumo? Guess I don't have a lot to do. Beg pardon? A man named La Habrea, sporting a red mask and robed in black? 12th Preserve. Prior to the calamity, the Asians took great pains to remain hidden. Why would they choose to cast off their veil of secrecy now? Gods, this bodes ill. We must take advantage of the present lull in primal hostilities and investigate this La Habrea. Learn all we can from him and his designs. I read to the... Oh, to think. Eek! Kitaru? What now? Oh! A Sylph! This far from the Trell's Wood, too. A Sylph? In Tanalan? At long last, this one finds Walking One Kukumo. That's Noraxia, whom we've met before. This one is most dependable of these ones. Is sent by Elder One Frixio to help Walking Ones. This one is called Noraxia. This one comes as a friend. Let these ones be friend. Pleasure to meet you, Noraxia. Well, ain't that a surprise? More people for the Walking Sands, then. Or Waking Sands. Why do I keep confusing that? I did that before, I still do. Tancred. Ah, Kukumo, pray do not concern yourself with my welfare. My current investigation has yielded some curious results, and at present I am pondering how best to proceed. If we must. There's Bremont, one of the merchant's brothers, whom, if I'm not mistaken, you would have met if you had started in Gridania. Excuse me, lad, this might sound strange, but you haven't by chance seen a fella that looks exactly like me? I'm looking for my twin brothers, see, and I heard they might have come through here. They could all be dead for all I know. At least it feels I've been chasing ghosts for an eternity now. Yeah, that's rough, dude. Clive. Greetings, Scion. I come on behalf of the students of Baldesian. You may address me as Clive. Is there some reason you are still here? Please, carry on. I'm not here to see you. Yeah. Rude. But then again, Charlians usually are. At least those that aren't used to Eorzea at any rate. As you have doubtless witnessed in your travels, the lands of Eorzea are gasping under the pall of a suffocating darkness. I must wonder if it is this darkness that invites disaster, or simply that disaster has left such gloom in its wake. One thing is for certain, now is not the time to relax our vigilance. Ever so high-strung. Batia. Masked men? I vaguely recall some Amalja ranting about something like that in the middle of a skirmish. Of course I wasn't listening too closely, on account of the fact their friends were trying to kill me. I don't mean to waste your time, friend, but that's the only thing that comes to mind. Which means that possibly the Asians might be behind the earlier summoning of Ifrit. Ironvald. I'm to meet with the Incessant soon to discuss the matter of great import. Abba thinks it's about my first official mission. I suppose it would be good if it was, yes? I mean, I'm not sure if I'm ready, but still. Oh, when the time is right, you'll be ready. Riage. Knowest thou the import of the broken staff within the Solar? Actually, they've happened to do a couple of close-ups on it a few times. It fell from the grasp of Archon Louis Sois, the man who, in his abiding love for all Eorzeans, shielded us against the storm of the calamity. The stars' wheels cross the heavens, and the skies brighten once more. The survivors gather and ignite a fiery dawn to burn away the glowering shroud. Ah, but destiny, thou art beautiful. Una Tayun. I'm starting to wonder if it's worth the asshole to prove who he was. I mean, maybe some folk would say, good on you, mate, thanks for fighting to save Eorzea and whatnot. But I reckon most would ask what we've done for him lately, if not spit in our faces for allowing Bahamut to blow up half the goddamn world. Yeah, things happen. Livian. In recent days, I've resumed my training. Idle hands make for idle minds, and painful memories are all too quick to resurface. So, she's overseeing ya then? Lazy Mikote. Harrybert. There are two types of Alamegans. Fools who wish to fight back but know not how, and cowards who've chosen to run from their worries. The young man over there is a striking example of the former. Me, I'm the latter. Or couldn't you tell? Actually, I couldn't tell. I suppose they're speaking about Arenvald there. So basically Arenvald doesn't know how to fight back, and this guy just wants to get out of it. Welp. Noraxia. Walking ones from Ul'dah have not seen these ones before. This one knows. Still, must walking ones make such screaming sounds when seeing this one's face? This one cannot get a wink of rest. Papalimo. Look, Noraxa, I realize that this makes no sense to you, but you must try to be more discreet. Years ago, a law was enacted in Ul'dah whereby... please just trust me and stay out of sight. So basically, beastmen are outlawed in Ul'dah, I see. Noraxa and I both wear a mask. We're going to get along famously, I just know it. Bubbly Ida. Oh, and there's Biggs and Wedge, whom I've skipped without realizing. If only Master Garland were still with us. He was a brilliant man, full of life and purpose, kind and generous. He taught us everything we know about engineering, though believe me, he could also be a very hard person to please. He would force us to completely rebuild devices if even a single flaw was discovered. I can only imagine what he'd say if he saw the tiny Bronco. Wedge, people in masks cannot be trusted, but Biggs and I wear masks all the time when welding. Well, that's not the same thing. You're engineers. Engineers get a free pass in life. That's what I've learned from my brother. Well, actually, they work hard. I suppose they deserve some measure of recognition. As does my brother. But don't tell him that. Yes, Tataru is as ready to express her fright as she is to express everything else. Not all of us are forged of the same steel as you, I'm afraid. But it takes all kinds to make a family, and it pleases me to no end to see ours continue to grow. One by one, the people of Eorzea are beginning to unite, Kukumo, drawn to the hope that shines within you. Yet the darkness threatens to engulf this light. Never have I doubted the Ascian's presence, but that they have grown so brazen as to carry out their work in plain sight fills me with a sense of deep foreboding. Ooh. So yeah, that staff that we're talking about is this one. That's Stupsimati. And it will end up being a plot device later on. But that's besides the point. Shadow of Darkness. Minfilia would have you investigate the mysterious La Habrea. I'm afraid there is no rest for the weary, Kukumo. We must delve further into the motivations of the masked man, the Ascian knows as La Habrea. This is an ideal moment to do so, while our hands are not bound dealing with another primal. At present, we know little and less about the Ascians, only that destruction follows in their wake. I should not be surprised if these beings are behind the chaos that wrecks the realm. If my fears prove to be a reality, we must do all in our power to stop them. Earlier, I sent word to each Grand Company to solicit cooperation. The Immortal Flames responded to the effect that they have information on a potential sighting. This is intelligence that we can ill afford to ignore. Go speak with Flame Commander Swift at the Hall of Flames in Ul'dah to inquire further. How you go about the investigation thereafter, I leave wholly to your discretion. But whatever you do, never forget that we are dealing with the unknown. You cannot take too many precautions. Be safe, Kukumo. Alright, boss lady. As mentioned before, you are the boss. Let us be on our way then. Back to Ul'dah. So one thing about the Ascians, she did mention that they were a little more sneaky in the past. That's because in the original Final Fantasy XIV, one of the antagonists was an Elysian known as Trevan She, who was eventually revealed to have been an Ascian, Yet for some reason we never heard about him ever again, aside from one specific mention, which I won't go into. But yeah, so this is some information I may need to look up at some point. But he was involved with things such as primal summoning, if I'm not mistaken. Although how many primals actually existed in the original, I'm not entirely sure. I'm pretty sure Ifrit was, the other ones, not so sure. So there's Commander Swift, the main commander for the Immortal Flames. He's basically the equivalent of a Varsile Hurlwa for the Twin Adder. The Masked Men? Ah, you are come on behalf of the Scions, of course. Yes, as we've already relayed to Lady Minfilia, there have been a sighting of this rogue near about Eastern Tanalan. A Brassblade station at Highbridge described him in detail when he alerted us to suspicious activity. I would point you to the witness, but I'm afraid he died not 2 days ago by a marauding horde of Kikern. Fate can be a cruel mistress. But do not be too quick to despair. Being situated on a trade route, Highbridge sees its fair share of travelers. Folks are always coming and going, and some among them may well have caught a glimpse of your target. You could do worse than to speak with a merchant named Hihibaru. The fellow's always starved for customers, and he'd no doubt welcome your attention, whether or not you have coin or the mind to spend it. Well, that's good to know. And you'll notice that Commander Swift here plays triple tree and then plays a mean hand of it. So if you want the Ifrit card, well, he's the older. So that is done, which means that we need to head over somewhere towards Highbridge, which I completely forgot where it was. Well, let's see. That's close to Camp Drybone. That makes sense given that this is Eastern Tanalan. And I'm pleased to see that I've unlocked little Mhigo in Southern Tanalan. That will help out immensely later, as it appears that we've got a bit of a side quest before we actually embark on this particular part, which may ends up leading us to it at some points. We've also got a quest around for the Levs of Camp Drybone. For those that are interested, but I am not. Lev quests are kinda useless at this point, aside from the fact that maybe you're actually leveling a crafting class or whatever. Oh, beautiful Tanalan. Along with these crystal-infused things that look like claws and whatnot. Those were the days. But you know, that's the thing about this game that's a little weird. Really, the original or Realm Reborn isn't nearly as good as some of the content that we are getting there. Of course, they've been refining their things, but when I think about a game like, for instance, World of Warcraft, where they completely redid their leveling experience, well, you can see that sometimes the quality actually shows. Although there were problems in World of Warcraft as well. For instance, when you reach Burning Crusade or Wrath of the Lich King, well, things were a little more dull and less polished. But you know, if you manage to make it all the way to Heavensward, I figure that by that point you should actually have a ton of fun with this, as opposed to the pointless but busy work that we're doing here. Although it is necessary to actually understand the story. Hihibaru. Welcome to Highbridge, adventurer. Whatever you seek, I, Hihibaru, can provide it. Probably. You're after a masked man? I'm not sure I have one of those in stock. Oh, you're after a masked man. Why didn't you say so sooner? Such an individual might have featured in one of the many rumors I've heard. If you linger a while, mayhap you'll learn a thing or two, eh? Are you Canadian? 'Cause I am. Hihibaru wants to help you find La Habrea. Maybe. When the Order of Naltal began excavating the ruins below, I had hopes that Highbridge would turn into a bustling hub for pilgrims. But thanks to the nigh endless Beastman raid, folks are too afraid to come within balm of here. I sold everything I owned to get my venture started, and I'm loath to give up without making an earnest effort to stick it out. But if things keep going as they are, I'll be bankrupt before the moon is through. Whining won't do me any good, though. No, for my business to survive, I need business. Speaking of which, perhaps you'd like to browse my wares. Spend a bit of coin to help a struggling merchant. The masked man? Bah, Tal takes your bloody masked man. I know what I said before, but vague rumors are all I've got. If you want to know about him, go and ask the other merchants. So, what he says, Highbridge was meant to become the next Emerald Avenue, where other throngs of pilgrims come to marvel at the ruins below, and more importantly, where's their coin? Why is business so fickle? Well, that's the thing, when you speculate, well, things happen. But apparently there's a merchant here close by, near to where the excavations are. This is what they are talking about. Those are the ruins of Sylphs, if I'm not mistaken, some sort of old kingdom from Ul'dah. There are actually quite a lot of those around here. But with the thing, you see, they talk a lot about the 7th Umbral Calamity, but actually, it being the 7th actually means that there were quite a few calamities, so a lot of kingdoms crumbled throughout the various calamities. Among others, we have one where Amdapor, the city most well known for their white mages, was taken out by a giant flood, as was Maki. Multi-eloquent merchant. Aye, I've heard tell of the Masked Devil. Seems he's appearing not only around Highbridge, but elsewhere about Tanaland too. Enough folk have reported seeing him to convince me he's more than a figment of the imagination, but little is known about him otherwise. But then I suppose saying that this stream was about the little Mhigo main quest might actually end up being renamed Chasing Shadows. I hope this isn't too long, because I do hate being called a liar. Absent-minded merchant. On the trail of a masked man. I have heard of him, but only hushed tones and faint whispers. It is said he wears a black hooded robe and looks right suspicious, and that's about all I can say, little though it is. Well, that's a start, I suppose. I wonder if Captain Longhalf is around. Wasn't this where he was stationed? Probably only if you do the post-smuggle quests. Impassive merchant. Have I seen a masked man wearing a dark robe? No, I haven't. Nor do I wish to. Business is bad enough without shady characters lurking about. Folk have been giving Highbridge a white bird because of all the Keekerns raids. None but the most devout of pilgrims are willing to come here anymore. Well, that's lame. Very well, let's go see Hihibaru back. He was definitely around, though. But where he went, that's another question entirely. Judging by your expression, I take it you didn't learn much of use. Look, I'm sorry for my rudeness earlier. Just that things are tough for us merchants at the moment. The Keekern raids are so constant, so organized. We're beginning to suspect that someone is orchestrating it all. I didn't put my own welfare first, like most of us do, but that doesn't mean I'm a bad person. I promise to keep an eye out for your masked men. If I see or hear anything, you'll be the first to know. Well, that's nice. And we are now level 30. Nice. Difficulty rank unlock. What does that mean? Well, it means that within our... No, that's not a challenge log, that's the hunting log. The question is, where is that? Here. So we've got a new part of the Grand Company hunting log unlocked. No, that's actually the Gladiator one. But we didn't get one. Well, there I go being a liar again. Writing it out, Hihibaru has information that may well lead you to the La Brea. Ah, the investigative adventurer. Are you still on the trade of that masked man by any chance? I happen to remember something and would share it with you. You'll recall my telling you how the Keekern have been raiding Highbridge nigh without cease. Well, there is a rumor that those filter rats have been meeting with a great hulk of a man in secret. While I can't say whether this is the mystery fellow you seek, I reckon it's as good a lead as any other. According to witnesses, the rendezvous takes place in the Keekern lair, located southeast of here. If you go there, perhaps you'll come upon some kind of clue. Be careful though, the nasty buggers don't take kindly to visitors. That they don't. And with the fog, we get to be treated quite a neat sight. Can you see? The ruins bathed in fog, and even from the bridge, we actually get access to some impressive sights. See that? Keeps going down all the way. Yeah. But anywho, before we head back to Ul'dah, I figure we might finish things up around here, seeing as we're already there. So let's do that. Actually, there's a public quest around here that is made in 3 stages that actually leads to this particular place where the Kikern encampment is. This eventually ends up with a merchant actually selling a special pet, which, if I'm not mistaken, Rain's already own. This place is actually rather dangerous, so you gotta be careful. Come on! Taste my knife. As you can see, the Kikern are actually those little rat men there. Gotta admit, the Stormblood new model for Kikern is a much needed improvement to those guys. But then again, the reason we don't see them much, I figure, is because they were from the original Final Fantasy XI. Although perhaps they weren't. I don't know much about the game, as I've mentioned before. Well, not this one, but the 11th one. Maybe at some point I really should tough it out and give it a try. While it's still there, at some point those things have a tendency to sunset. And we don't want that. But then again, I suppose it is probably still making some measure of money, what with all of the content they have. But then again, if you need to level as groups within said game, well... And who knows, maybe it's already been sunsetted. How would I know otherwise? Being here while the public quest is going is rather an ordeal. We are lucky. Undecipherable letter. So the guy writes Kikern then. Good for him. And you know what? I've just remembered that I actually had a chocobo. Did I use him to get to Highbridge? I don't know. Manifest Destiny. No, that's not the same quest, is it? Well, anywho, let's speak to Hihibaru and see what we can find. One addendum to what I spoke of during the last stream, I actually feel I should mention. When I said Triple Triad actually didn't have much in the way of rewards, that's not entirely true. You do get access to a few titles depending on the achievements that you unlock. So, you know. So, did you end up investigating the Kikern lair? We sure did. A letter you can't make heads or tails of? Let me see here. This is written in Amalgic. You're in luck. Just so happened I learned the spot of it back in the day, so as to expand my potential clientele. Seems like contents pertains to whoa, people trafficking. Well, so you're a little suspicious. You were planning to sell off slaves to the Amalja too, didn't you? Gods be good. If I'm reading this right, the Kikern are trying to strike a deal with the Amalja. They mean catch helpless souls at Highbridge and sell them off like sack of popodos. Do you think that different tribes of beastmen are colluding in their villainy? I must warn everyone to maintain vigilance. You have my thanks, adventurer. Had you not braved the Kikern lair, no one here would have known what the creatures were plotting until they actually began picking us off, one by one. On the other hand, I suppose this means you're no closer to finding your man. Well, unless it's an Amalja you're looking for. But probably not, huh? Well, that was a whole lot of nothing. It does show, though, the Amalja aren't idle. They're actually one of the more dangerous beast tribes as far as their plots are concerned, although the Sahagin are pretty much some of the better ones, I feel like. Hihibaru has information that will surely lead you to La Habrea. I finally got some honest-to-God's information on your masked man. This time, it's the real thing, I swear! Why so confident? Because I saw him with my own 2 eyes. I was out on an evening stroll minding my own business when I noticed a column of smoke rising from a cliff over at Tal's Respite. Curious, I took myself there to find a masked man. You're a masked man, I'm sure of it, standing by a fire. As if in answer, some Geekern appeared soon after, and the group began talking, at length. I'm afraid I was too far out of earshot to hear much of anything. After the group had dispersed, an idea came to me. If you were to use this smoldering coal to start a fire, you might be able to arrange a similar meeting. It will be dangerous, I shouldn't doubt, but you've proven yourself more than a match for a pack of rats. So what do you think? That sounds... that's some sound? Oh, that's some sound reliable information, even if I do say so myself. Well worth all the lingering about you've been doing, wouldn't you say? Yeah. Let's see if you actually end up being useful. Oh, it's pretty far too. Leads all the way to the entrance to the South Shroud, which is where apparently Ul'dah connects with Redania. Which is strange because I thought that you actually needed to pass through the borders of Mhigo, but it being held by the Imperials actually makes more sense that way. Although with airship travel that probably wouldn't be much of an issue. Then again, Belsar's Wall. So I was totally wrong, basically. Wouldn't be the first time. Heh. Thing is, I actually don't remember this quest at all. I wonder what's up with it. And if we actually learn anything of substance. So, let's use that smoldering coal. Corpse Brigade Footstool Soldier. Well then. Final Fantasy XI reference. The color kinda matched too, now that I think about it. That's a nice touch. The original Corpse Brigade usually wore mostly green and brown. Isn't the Ward of the Destroyer to Hihibaru? Ward of the Destroyer, eh? That might be the breadcrumb that would send us to little Mhigo that I've been looking for. Good. We're making progress and I'm not a liar. Been thinking of some things lately about this particular stream. Among others, I'm actually wondering whether I should actually move my face to the right, given the fact that I'm actually looking in the wrong direction. Although whether or not that would be better or not remains to be seen. I might need to play around with the crop a little. Also, the fact that the graphics have been a little darker than they should be. It's good enough, but something that's been bothering me for quite some time. It seems I have some trouble with the fact that I'm doing some conversion from HDMI to VGA or something similar with the settings, but I haven't found something that actually works. Somebody's playing WoW. Back so soon! Were you able to find any clues leading to your masked man? Gasp! This scroll! It bears a prayer to Rhalgr the Destroyer! In case you're unfamiliar, Rhalgr is the guardian deity of Mhigo, which is currently under Garlean rule. It's highly uncommon for folk of other nations to revere him. I'd wager my last guild that your assailant was Mhigan. It seems this masked man of yours is very well connected. I must confess, the merchant in me envies such a diverse network of contacts. That selfsame merchant also senses danger ahead, and darkness besides. Are you certain you are not taking things nice and slow here at Highbridge? Of course not. That's not what I do. So heavy iron armor. Cannot equip gear to head while wearing this. Well, that ain't right, we've already spoken about that, and I'm not willing to compromise on the fact that we see my face. So sorry if it's ugly. On to little Mhigo. Hihibaru has a suggestion to help you with your investigation. The Alamigan bandit you had a run-in with is somehow connected to your masked man of mystery. So it stands to reason that if you want to pick up the trail again, you should head towards Little Mhigo over in southern Tanland. Just so you know what to expect, the settlement is the favorite destination for those refugees who couldn't, well, adapt to life in Ul'dah. The hearts of the denizens are said to be as barren as the wasteland they live in, and for all intended purposes, it's a lawless place. Be prepared for a not-so-warm welcome. Now, I'm not certain how much help she will be, but it just so happened I have a daughter who has, relocated to little Mhigo. Her name is Hihira, and it shouldn't hurt to seek her out first. And while you have her attention, I'd be obliged if you could send my love. Not a day goes by that I don't think of her. I suppose this is it then. I had hoped that you would linger here a while, call some fiends, spend some coins, what have you, but something tells me you're destined for greater things. Whatever it is you end up, I wish you the best. Ah, he was a good guy in the end. That will lead us to little Mhigo, but first, we're gonna go back and help out First Sword Mila and unlock that class of ours. First, we actually need to finish the Gladiator questline, so that's what we're gonna do. Here we go. So, Gladiator's Guild. Oh, the lovely nighttime Ulda music. Still love it. Hey lady, the rematch. First Sword Mila is extremely upset due to a recent turn of events. Damn it all to the 7th hell, this is madness! It's Aldis. He's been arrested by the Razblades. They claim he was plotting to assassinate the Sultana. This is utter nonsense. He has no motive to do so, and whatever I've said about the man, he would never resort to using poison. The Alocran must be behind this. They have failed to kill him time and again, and now they're reaching out to their monetarist allies. I didn't want to believe Wymond when he said that they had such influence, but... What? Wait, that's it! If anyone can help us unravel this plot, it's Wymond! He has a reputation for knowing things he shouldn't, after all. Find Wymond, see what he can tell us. Aldis is many things, but he is not a murderer. So why has Wymond managed not to get himself killed? Aside from not talking about things he shouldn't. Because if everybody knows you're an informant and a tattletale, well, maybe some people don't want you to tattle on them. You know. Maybe I'm too smart for this world. And strangely, not smart enough for real life. Meh. Well, actually, that's not true. I'm actually doing a job that's much harder than what some people actually do. But that's beside the point. So, Wymond, I was wondering when you might come along, Kukumo. Frankly, I'm surprised all this went so quietly. You ought to know there's no walking away from this. What happened between Aldis and Leovold 7 years ago? You really don't know, do you? Best I start from the beginning then. Aldis is something of an enigma. He and Leovold were two of the greatest gladiators ever to grace the blood sands, but he threw all that hard-fought glory away for a few more gil more. See, the average old Don loves a good Colosseum fight, and what better way to make a gladiatorial spectacle more entertaining than wagering on the outcome? So when it got out that Aldis was orchestrating a match-fixing scheme of untold proportions, well, you can imagine the shock and anger the people felt. He was expelled from the Colosseum, and his wins were stricken from the record. Your guildmaster, Mila, got the worst of it, though. Not only was her friend exposed as fraud, but around the same time, her father fell ill and passed away. There were some oddities surrounding his death, too. It was rumored that he took his own life out of shame for his disgraced pupil, or that he might have even been murdered by the man. Baseless conjecture, really, but it made all this look that much worse. In the end, Mila lost two of the most important men in her life, and was forced to take charge of the guild alone. And Leovold, he tried to go at it solo on the Blood Sands, but it wasn't the same. Without all this, his career was finished. Now you know the nature of the men you so desperately want to save, though judging from that look in your eyes, I gather you still have your reservations. Fine then, though you can't blame me for doubting a man found in possession of Ralgur's bile. Oh. Reference to Ralgurs again, huh? This vile poison, rare and expensive too. Only the Corpse Brigade knows how to make it, I hear. Gods only know why they'd give it to Aldis. Could go to their headquarters at the Sepulchre in southern Talaland and ask him direct, I reckon. I have an aversion to direct confrontation, personally, but you don't, do ya? By the by, should you save the poor bastard's life, tell him we're even, and that I hoped was all worth it. Whatever that means. Welp, apparently we're headed to southern Talaland, which actually happens to be close to little Mhigo. But doesn't really matter in our current situation, I suppose. Actually wondering what's gonna happen about that thing that I was speaking, more specifically actually moving where my camera is putting me on screen. Because here's the thing, at some point I'm gonna move and the setup of my particular, shall we say... Okay, no, that's another quest entirely. Okay, they're all the way over here for the rematch. But yes, and when that happens, well, the layout of my desk and room as well as studio will change significantly. So I'll need to figure that out. You might not think so, but I've actually got a fairly complicated setup. Might show it off at some point if I've got time. Maybe during my vacation, make some sort of making of the stream and whatnot. But perhaps I won't as well. So anyway. Couple of entrances. There might be a more direct one this way. There's Albin the Ashen, who is a hunt target. The hunt is something that we're going to learn about a little later. If I'm not mistaken, you actually find out about it in... what was it? Quertus West, if I recall. But it is very possible that I've got it all wrong. Wouldn't be the first time. So, giant golems. Going about aimlessly in old ruins. Nothing bad can happen from this. And there is a fate around here. And there's our entrance. What am I looking for exactly? Well, avoiding those guys, obviously. I'm not very sneaky, am I? Whoopsie. Come on, dude. You know the funny thing? I actually thought the Corpse Brigade were zombies. But I'm probably actually misremembering things. You see, Talaland has a bit of a zombie problem at certain places. Especially at a place here in southern Talaland, which we'll visit a little later. But those guys might actually just be a renegade mercenary group. As opposed to revolutionaries like they were in the original game. But yeah, with the public quest, this place might actually be bad. Yeah, this is terrible. Damn it. Come on, then. Oh, and see, it's the boss, too. Damn it. Come on. Alright, we're out of here. Oh. There's still something we need to look for in there. Well, that's just wonderful. But at least that'll be easier. So, Fire Dancer then. Ah! There's a team here. Fire Dancer and Knuckle Dancer. Thunder! What is this, Pokemon? I've actually been watching a lot of Pokemons lately. Not the anime, actual Pokemon games, of course. Using those stuns, though, was pretty smart of me. Although I suppose I was a little lucky that this guy didn't notice me. Neither did this one, as it happens. You know something I'm noticing, though? The layout of this place looks a lot like Little Mhigo. The nice thing is that I can stun this guy whenever he does his paralyze. Alright. Gotta find that poison. Hey you, out of my way. I'm not really seeing anything. Might not be up here after all. Might be down there. We're gonna try to approach cautiously. See what we find. Stop that. You probably do that as an opening if you actually aren't attacking them. Otherwise they just spam thunder. Which makes them pretty bad thaumaturges. Now then. I ain't seeing nothing. It's probably down there. Yep. And that quest is over. Didn't manage to finish it, I believe. Although maybe people showed up to do so. Alright. I've got Relger's Bile, so can I get rid of the Sultana then? Charity of the Alakram. And no, I am not gonna assassinate the Sultana, of course. That'd be silly. Why would you want to murder a cute little Lalafell? I wouldn't. Those guys were probably also some of the ones that would have actually spawned when we picked up that paper. But the Lacran's involvement is a given now. Alrighty. Let's go back to Ul'dah then. Alrighty then. Off to the Gladiators Guild. Hey, lady. Where have you been, Kukumo? Aldis has been given over into the custody of the Sacrarium. They mean to execute him. We must do something. This is poison, is it? You've proved that the Alacran purchased it from the Corpse Brigade. Thank the gods, you've done it. Quickly, we must show this to the official presiding over his execution at Highbridge. Go, now! Highbridge, huh? Good thing that we've learned about it beforehand, then. So, Camp Drybone, with its unfortunate nickname, which I'm not gonna repeat here. It's obvious enough. If you have a dirty mind, that is. Ah. There's an example of those Ul'dah barding, so this is sweet. Well, not Ul'dah, more like Immortal Flames, but you get my point. But at least I hope you do. Yeah, my memories are back. I went to Highbridge on my Chocobo. Me walking was just a brain fart. Well, that's good to know. I always like to be reassured. Well, this guy runs on his Fenrir because I'm a lowly alt. Oh well, no matter. The goal of doing this basically is to get Kukumo towards the end of Evansward. Once we are done with that particular content, well, Rain will, in parallel, actually be doing Shadowbringers. So that way we can have Rain as the main character as I originally intended. Although there is a new feature being released which will allow you to somewhat reset the main quest and the various contents you've seen at some point, so you know. And there's that main quest. Attack on Highbridge, Act 2. Those are the quests that I was talking about earlier. Where's the place? It's down there, but how do I get there? Gee, I don't know. Do I just jump? Take me if you must, but spare my wife. There's some sort of passage there, which means that there might be some sort of ledge. Yeah, that looks like it. Yeah, that's better. Also add some necessary hype for what we are about to do. And I'll let those people die. Order of Naltal Priest. This aquarium has sentenced you to death for your crimes against the Sultanate. Have you any last... Huh? Who are you and what do you want? Duty calls. Commence battle for the rematch. And we shall. These are bold accusations you make, adventurer. However, this aquarium has found the prisoner guilty in the eyes of the gods and men, and he will be executed forthwith. Don't waste your breath, Kukumo. Tao's scales have always yielded to wealth above all else, and Leovold spent a fortune to secure my sentence. Silence, criminal! And you! What are you waiting for? Do it! Where did that? Aldis! Just couldn't stay away, could you? Well, at least I don't have to steal the headsman's axe. Ha! Nice. If the gods are to have blood this day, I'm afraid it won't be mine. Since you two are so devout, perhaps you'd be willing to offer yourselves in exchange. Mercy! Heh. Now then. Oh. We've got company then. Godwin, interfering with the law is a heinous crime. In fact, I believe it is punishable by death. I had a feeling the spectacle would draw you here. I should have dealt with you myself from the start. Come, let's dance, brother. So it's to be a rematch. Very well, I accept. Mila and the others need you, Kumo. Leave him to me. If you must. Don't get yourself gutted. I sure hope that's glamour, because his chest is rather exposed. And he has no shield. For Gladiator, this guy's a disgrace. But then again, so is Raban to some extent. But that's besides the point. Raban actually has a shield when he fights, if I recall. But usually when you see him early on, he doesn't. Highness of the Alakran. These guys go down pretty quickly. Probably because I'm a little high level, being level 30 and whatnot. Because that's probably where the quest stops scaling. Gut Ripper. They might also be weak because, hey, you got a lot of them to slay. Diligence of the Alakran. What's that now? Thunder 2? You're an idiot. Thunder 2 is meant to be cast as an AoE. Got peeps fighting. Hey, you. Oh, if Godwin is gonna go down quick, I should take him down first then. Wait, what? Help, Mila. Rah! Oh, no, you don't. Thanks for a sword. Down you go. Yeah, the guarded. Deal with that mage, Kukumo, quickly. What mage? Oh, him. By all means. Make good use of that stun, you'll need it. Hey you, you're annoying. Void Call, eh? Ouch! Void Slave. Void Sand? Gods damn you, Leovold. Do not panic, brothers. It can be slain. Sure hope so, because it's big. Double smash. Come on, you dolt. It's actually a good idea, given that I'm actually making him face away from my allies. One of the first rules of being a tank. Never make frontal AoE casting thingies face your allies. Mila isn't doing too well. Hopefully she can heal herself. And she can. Good. There. Now how about those? They're a lot weaker than the other one, it seems. But they're healing themselves. I wonder who is. Blinding him at least should give Mila a break. Oh yeah, that's right, these guys have the monk move that allows them to heal themselves. That's why it's so hard. Or rather, it's not the monk move, it's a pugilist move. I flash people, it's what I do. Damn little thing. Alright, duty complete. Didn't even get to fight Leovold either. Oh well. Took down all his henchmen, that ought to be worth something. We win! Aldis! Oh, he had the shield. Aldis. What is this, anime? kinda is to some people. You almost had me, Leovold. Stay back, I won't have your pity. You just had to have it all, didn't you? Just one victory, just one bloody match. But your precious ego couldn't accept that. You ruined everything. Tell me, Aldis, how does it feel to lose your name, your legacy, everything you ever loved? I want to know how much you suffered. Let it go, Leovold. It's over. Of course. Like hell's it is, I swear, you will never know peace. Not in this life or the next. Leovold, no! Doesn't look like he'd survive this, but then again, a lot of the characters have suffered worse and survive. You know damn well neither of us will see Tall's realm. Let's go, our comrades are waiting. And back to the Gladiators Guild. Such tiny Lalafell, and taken out so many dudes. Although I suppose Firstborn Mila fought well as well. Now then. I'm glad you were there, Kukumo. Without you, I doubt we could have defeated the Alacran. Have you ever considered the Colosseum? You'd make a wonderful attraction. Of course, you'd need a title that befits your prowess. Now that it's all over, you'll be staying, won't you? No, Leovold may be dead, but the Alacran are far from finished. I'd rather not linger and give them a chance to regroup and seek revenge. It is a true tragedy that I cannot enjoy the company of Ul'dah's lovely ladies any longer, but I have faith that equally radiant beauties await me in distant lands. Aldis, Not another word, my dear. It's bad enough that the First Sword has permitted a disgraced Gladiator to fraternize with her subordinates. Can you imagine the scandal if she became personally involved with the man? Nevertheless, I understand how you feel, Mila. I am known to have this effect on the fairer sex. I should have let the headsman have his way with you. That way you might learn something of humility. Ah, but how am I supposed to remember the lesson without a head? Your father would be proud of you, Mila. Don't ever change. Ah, that's right. I wanted to teach you something before I go, Kukumo. If you strike an opponent with your shield immediately after blocking his attack, you can disorient him, rendering him incapable of using his own special techniques. It's a trick I call Shield Swipe. I won many bouts on the Blood Sands using this strategy, including my last match against Leovold 7 years ago. If it hadn't been for that match, I would have never... He begged me to lose that day, said he'd win the Sultan's ransom, but I just couldn't do it. Takes complete confidence in your abilities to master it, but you do not want for confidence, do you? You risked your life when victory was anything but certain, and proven yourself to be an incredible gladiator. Never lose that fighting spirit, Kukumo. Trust in your comrades, have faith in your skills, and you will triumph over any adversity. And with that, I bid you all farewell. I'd better not have to wait 7 years to see that bastard again. There's still so much I want to. What in the 7 hells are you all looking at? This is a training hall. Why aren't you all training right now? You think all it takes to stand on the blood sands is a sword and a stupid grin? No, it takes years of hard work, an ocean of blood and sweat, an unbreakable will. Every man and woman here has the potential to become a champion, but it is you, and you alone, who decides your destiny. So answer me now, gladiators. Will you follow in the footsteps of your brothers and sisters and inscribe your names in legend? Aye. Elmaquetly, a Bull Hoplon, and the Shield Swipe skill. Nice. So we've got Steel Sabatons, which are a tiny bit better than what I've got. Gauntlets, Head, and a Cuirass. I like the Cuirass. I'll also need to upgrade my gear. Might stop by the Sapphire Avenue to fix that. Shield Swipe learned. So let's equip some of that new stuff, shall we? New weapon. A new cuirass. Better than nothing. So anyway, Guild Receptionist, Ulutsu. Paladin's Pledge. Ulutsu wishes to share with you some exciting news. We'll earn Shield Oath as well as the Soul of the Paladin. Oh, there you are, Kukumo. Perfect timing. I've heard the juicy bit of gossip that I know you are going to be interested in. Apparently, and remember, you heard this first from me, the Sultan Sworn Elite are sharing the secret skills and training of Paladins. Incredible, I know. Paladins meant to be knights, but that's beside the point. The Sultan Sworn have an exclusive monopoly on the instruction of Paladin skills. Once upon a time, if you weren't one of those officer track elites, then you had no chance to learn the arts, and competition to get to the top was very fierce indeed, let me tell you. But anyone who joined had to swear an oath of fealty to the Oldan Sultanate, which meant no more adventuring, no more daring do, and no more Colosseum, just languishing about in the palace all day polishing plate mail. That's why this news is so big. Now anyone with a bit of commitment can learn the skills of a paladin, and no memorizing the 55 commandments of the Sworn or any other nonsense either. This is a golden, no, a platinum opportunity that comes but once in a lucky adventurer's life. Let it slip through your fingers, and regret will be your just desserts. You need to go to the Royal Promenade in the Ostling Strip. Find the captain of the Sultan Sworn Elite. Genlins is his name, and tell him how you're just dying to become a paladin. Well, you've probably become a paladin and die, but that's beside this point. But anyway, yeah, we'll never hear about First Sword Mila for quite a while. So, yep. One thing I've been thinking that they should do actually is actually make you return to your first trainer and actually do quests for them as your last job. But that rarely happens aside from more recent jobs, such as for instance machinist and whatnot. And given the setting of the next expansion, well, that just isn't happening. So anyway, off to the Chamber of Rules. One thing though, we've earned Shield Swipe, didn't we? So let's have a look at this configuration here. It's UI setting, display action help. So what does this do? Deliver an attack with a potency of 100 can only be executed immediately after blocking an attack. So yep, fairly, shall we say, how would I say this? Niche, shall we say? And we'll have it here at least for the time being. So anyway, let's go see those peeps here. So there's Genlins. Fancy dude. Yes, I am Genlins, member of the Sultan Sworn Elite and servant to the Oldan Sultanate. Unless my instincts deceives me, you have come to inquire about training as a paladin. If so, I would have your name, good sir. Kukumo, a fine name. I bid you welcome and salute your noble resolve. But if you aspire to paladinhood, you should understand what it means. A paladin swears allegiance to the Sultanate. A paladin shall be the sword and shield of the Sultanate. A paladin defends the people of the realm. Sellswords and gladiators and others of their ilk wield their blades for themselves, but a paladin serves the greater good. Do you understand me? The battle arts that the Paladin learns have been held secret, nurtured, and perfected within the ranks of the Sultan-sworn elites for nigh on these 600 years. Of all those sworn to protect the Sultanate, the soldiers, the mounted guards, and the knights, where we are the elite of the elite, our conviction unwavering, our hearts true, our sword skills without peer. But the glory of the Sultan-sworn, well, much of it is buried in the past now. Our brotherhood grows smaller by the year, we are but a shadow of what we once were, and the Sultanate turns to sell swords to defend our palace, being the brass blades. All this because of one traitor. No, because of a blot of dishonor left by one who shall not be named. And because of him, we have been forced to seek the help of able-bodied adventurers. And here you are. We shall instruct you in the Paladin military arts. You will not be inducted into the Sultan-sworn, but serve as a free Paladin. However, first you will show us that both your sword and hearts have metal, and you are worthy of the honor. In the ruins to the south of Little Mhigo, you will find an iron brazier. Light it, and the undead nearby will be drawn to the flame. Slay these monsters, and give their hearts to the fire. Return and present me their ashes as proof of your deed. Now, would-be Paladin, show me the metal in your heart, and steel in your blade. And that is done. We shall nonetheless stop by the Sapphire Avenue. That will also show you where you can actually get some equipment early on. If you need to, because the place of Wold actually sells equipment up to level 30 if I recall correctly. So there's an independent arms merchant, Disciple of War arms, weapons from level 30. That's 31, that's too much. Now that one. We've got swords, which is the Makwat Wilt, or however this is pronounced, and that won't do for my purpose. So I need somebody else. Is that guy? No, it is not. That's the guy that sells dyes. So other guy must be on the other side. Makes sense, right? Okay, Battlecraft armor. Disciple of War gear. Let's see, we can probably get some of them at level 30. So the Steel Salata. These will get. You'll also notice that a lot of these items are rather expensive. So if you've got access to a crafting class or even just the board, the merchant board, well, you should probably use those instead. But given that I don't have much needs, well, I'll just make do with what I have. So steel plate belt. That will do nicely. The padded velveteen trousers. And the steel sabatons. One thing I didn't check to that arms merchant was actually the shield. Those are usually kept as weapons if I'm not mistaken. But this is something that I should actually have a look at. Let's see, shield. Goatskin Targe at level 28. That's not right. Let's see if we can have something a little more. Oh, she already gave me the Bull au Plan, didn't she? But that's level 31, that won't do. Let's try that one. It removes a bit of a particular defense, but it should work well enough for the rest. Huh. That's plus 61 though. I'll say. A lot of block strength, not a lot of block rate. Rate is probably better. So, here's what I look like now. Not particularly great, but it will do. So anyway, off to Little Mhigo then. Ah, the daytime music for Ul'dah is also pretty neat. If your eyes are keen, you can see that Aura, who is wearing the standard Colosseum shawl set, which is earned from some early dungeons. This thing is fairly popular as it's one of the items that shows the most skin. So yeah, a lot of people in these games are pervert, unfortunately. Aren't you glad that you've got a modest person here? Well, actually, you probably aren't, but that's besides the point. I've seen enough naked male Mhigo while listening to the this game original soundtrack. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, well, it should be obvious enough if you look it up. Wow, those guys are tough. Might need to rethink my strategy. Okay, let's try this again. Fallen Mage. Ah, that's more like it. I do remember those guys. These tempered things are no laughing matter. Fallen Soldier. Those were the zombie guys I've been talking about. You can see a lot of them in this particular zone. Among others, there are some hidden somewhere over there. There's also a guy who will actually give you a Cactuar pet if you actually bother doing said quest. Okay. Let's try not to get too close. Iron Brazier. Ahan, Wandering Soldier. The moans of the undead grows larger. Actually, you know one strategy I haven't been doing enough? It's flashing people. If they have trouble hitting me, well, that's less damage for me. Shield Swipe. It's pretty strong, actually. Wonder how it compares to Alon's Fury. Alright, Wandering Mage. Yeah. Meant to interrupt him, but that didn't work. Wonder if Blind does anything against magic. Probably not. Lowers accuracy in general. Might actually help. Alright, Han. And that's it. Just light the brazier with the Ashen Hearts. And what's going on now? Ah, there's a fat Rogad in there. Seawolf too. If you are in this place searching for the undead, then you must be a petitioner seeking the secrets of the Paladin arts. But make no mistake, simply learning Paladin swordplay does not make you a Paladin, nor does the armor you wear, or the status you claim. I am just another aging free Paladin, but you would do well to heed my counsel. Strike off the shackles that bind your spirit, lift the visor that blinds, and find the true path of the Paladin. Now you'll notice that the gear this guy is actually carrying is the one that we'll be earning at level 50 once we are done with the class quest. So, this is something we have to look forward to. You'll remember it from the first stream of A Realm Reborn. Here you will be returning to the captain, yes? Then give him this crystal. That's one creepy grin. Or better known as a shit-eating grin. Oops, that was a little vulgar. The way you use that sword reminds me of a man I used to know. Mine eyes may be old, but they can see the truth well enough. Be a paladin strong and true. Devote yourself to the way and become a beacon of light. That's fancy shield and sword, though. Kind of the nice things about playing Rogadins. Well, what now? Alright, back to Ulda. She had help from her chocobo, so she probably didn't need it, but hey. She might actually be doing... well, that wasn't the introductory quest. Because that's what I was doing. So, the Chamber of Rule. At this point we are nearly finished with that thing. I actually planned to finish the stream there, but it sounds like we're going to be going on for a little more, if only to make sure that my title is accurate. Face the undead monsters who infest the ruins south of Little Mhigo in southern Thailand. Defeat them and return with proof of your deed. Yes, that's what I needed. Prove that you have defeated the undead. You have shown that your art is true and your sword has metal. I have no doubt that you will prove to be an attentive pupil. That is well, for there is much to learn. First and foremost is this: you are a paladin now, a custodian of traditions ancient and noble. A free paladin has no master. Instead, he travels all lands, and in every place take up the cause of the unarmed and defenseless. You swear fealty not to a lord, but to yourself. You are nobility amongst adventurers. Now that is actually interesting, because that's actually what free knights were about back in the medieval time, if you will. They were basically roaming knights, righting wrongs wherever they went, as opposed to knights that actually served the lord. Although those were actually rare as far as free knights go, if I'm not mistaken. But, you know, there's a similar parallel with samurais, whereas most samurais actually serve a lord, and those who were ronins were actually samurai without a lord, and these who actually weren't looked fondly upon. The same cannot be said for free knights, as far as I'm aware of. You have taken your first steps on a new path, and you have earned the right to bear this, the soul of the Paladin. Upon its surface are carved the deeds of paladins of eras past. He who bears it commands the respect of all knights of honor. Bahamut's Fang, you already possess a crystal, and you say it was given to you by an unknown free paladin who told you to hand it to me. That's weird. Where's this crystal of which you speak? I demand you show it to me at once. Engraved crystal. Curse him! He has made a mockery of the trial. That crystal you bear is indeed the soul of the Paladin, but it is disgraced, impure. It was stolen from the Sultansworn. The man who gave you this soul is the very traitor whom I have been seeking for these many moons. He is an oath-breaker, who bent the knee to the Oldan Sultanate and who swore allegiance to the Sultansworn, but then single-handedly sullied our name, and trampled it underfoot until it was lost, perhaps forever. How dare he give counsel on honor on the Paladin way? This soul is polluted, and I must dispose of it. When you come to wield your sword as a paladin, the only soul you may wear is that which is bestowed by a captain of the Sultansworn. That traitor is no Sultansworn, still less a captain. By giving you a soul, he insulted not only the Brotherhood, but you too. Perhaps an adventurer like yourself finds our rules nothing more than a nuisance, but true reign long and short, our forebears in the Sultansworn have preserved its rituals and traditions, and we are duty-bound to uphold them, even if men and women within our own ranks scorn them as relics. It has been my fate to be named captain of the Sultansworn in these troubled times, though I did not ask for this honor. I have bent my knee to the Sultana, and sworn fealty, and I will fight to restore our honor and name. You wield a skilled blade, and more importantly, you have met the traitor face to face. Your great task as a paladin will be to help me bring him to justice. Oh, so knights go on quests then. You must ready yourself, marshal your resources, and own your skills, until the time comes when you're ready to discharge your duty. The journey will be long, and you are a paladin now, and honor binds you as surely as an oath. The next Paladin quest will be available from Gentlins upon reaching level 35. So we get the shield out as well as the soul of the Paladin. Paladin unlocked! Yay! The souls of Paladins past bequeath you their wisdom. That is done. So, by going here we'll be equipping our crystal, which will cement us as a proper Paladin. So Paladin, Oath Gauge unlocked. This symbol indicates the defensive stance Shield Oath is in effect. Shield Oath reduces damage taken while reducing damage dealt and increasing enmity. Access this window at any time via action and traits. This is actually a very useful thing, as you'll actually get to... Oh, changing class has actually reset my bar, that's no good. So we'll need to get this solved a little. So we've got this, this goes here, this goes there, remove that. Need this over here. There's sprint, mount, and what else? Potions, of course. High potion, eh? I think it's a good time to switch. And we've also got the secondary skills, which we've earned. Here you can see all of the various skills that we're going to be earning later on. Circle of Scorn is going to help us tremendously as well. As well as a few other ones here, for instance, Sword Oath. That's a strange thing, did they move those around? It used to be that you actually got Sword Oath first hand, if I'm not mistaken. That's actually a good thing, because I actually used to complain a lot about the fact that Paladins early on had trouble maintaining enmity. Although most people call me Crybaby, but that's besides the point. Anywho, Convalescence, Rampart, Anticipation, Low Blow. Actually, Provoke is more important. Doesn't really matter much, but when you get tied to a particular duty that will limit you to a certain level, getting access to the proper tool can make the difference between a wipe and actually succeeding. That's better. So this goes there, Shield Oath goes there. This is Provoke, which is actually really helpful. Convalescence. Rampart, Anticipation, and Low Blow. Now we're gonna be alright. Great. So that is done. Now we're gonna activate Shield Oath to actually demonstrate what we've got. So you can see this shield here that actually shows that I'm in Shield Oath. And if we look here, damage taken and dealt are reduced, as they said, while enmity is increased. Now while soloing, using Shield Oath actually isn't a good idea. So we're gonna drop it for now, but it's gonna be useful when we're in dungeons. So anywho, let's be on our way to Little Mhigo. Did we get any other particular reward? I don't feel like we did. Yeah, we didn't. Okay, that's good. So here we are in Little Mhigo, and we gotta speak with that Lalafell girl, who is the daughter of Hihibaru. As you can see, the people of Little Mhigo lived in caves. Hihira. Why yes, Hihibaru's my father. He said, what? I wish I could be a better daughter to him. It just asked... Oh, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have bothered you with family matters. But I am grateful for you for delivering this message. Now then, what brings you here? Masked man? I'm afraid the description doesn't ring any bells, but one of the others here may have seen something. I would recommend you first speak with Gundobald, the leader of this settlement. I must warn you, though, he isn't exactly accommodating to outsiders. If I recall, that's something of an understatement early on, so there's the big guy. As you'll notice, most Alamegans are actually Highlanders, which are basically taller here, usually tanned to some extent. Who are you? State your business and be quick about it. Looking for a masked villain, you say? And why should we help you, pray? We struggle enough without having to answer the whim of every outsider. You are not welcome here. Be gone. Well, that's a nice how do you do. So, somebody else will actually be helping us here, so we can speak with the Flames Commander, apparently. Giselbert. I hope that this is how it's pronounced. Giselbert would like to aid in your manhunt. Well met, adventurer. I'm Giselbert, head of security here at Little Mhigo. I heard tell that you had business with Gundobald. Knowing the bristly old bear, I don't doubt he told you to bugger off. Owing to their hardships, the refugees don't trust anyone but themselves. Not even my men and I can get so much as a word of thanks out of them, despite watching the place day and night. But thanks, so you know, I try to help my fellow men when I can, and you can seem a decent sort. If you tell me what's brought you here, it might be I can lend a hand. Oh, on the trail of a masked villain, you say? Can't say that sounds familiar. Given that he has a mask, he probably took offense of it. But I have men on the lookout for Amalja to the south of here. If there's been any suspicious activity, they are like to have seen it. I had a mind to take them each a cup of sweet Tanalan tea, so as to lift their spirits. If you were to run this little errand in my stead, they'd be all the more willing to tell you what they know. Ain't that nice? We've got a chocobo keep, although we haven't been using them much. But they are useful in some places. Among others, Quartus. There are lookouts all the way over there. And here we are for the first time in southern Tanalan. And how do you get here, you might be wondering? Well, there are two entrances here. You can enter through the spineless basin near the gates of Tal, if I'm not mistaken. Whereas you can also come from eastern Tanalan to the south through the Sen gate here. Though then again, you can figure this out on your own if needs be. The quest markers, as you can see here with the map icon that I've been using frequently, will help you get to where you need to be. Who the hell are you? I'm trying to conserve energy here, so leave me alone. Well, ain't you considerate? My thanks, friend. What's that? A masked villain? Hiding among our refugees? Like as not. My compatriots as live here go... Oh. Me compatriots as live here go about as though they're dead on their feet. It's near impossible to tell what's on their minds. For all I know, they're all up to no good. That's weird. So felt like a weird sentence. Eh. Angry River. That's a good name. You there, are you in Amalja? No? Then carry on. Ah, this sophisticated aroma. It has been forever since I had a drop of sweet Tanalan. I'm going to enjoy this. What? A masked man? Don't know, don't care. Unless he's got dark scaly skins, then 10 foams tall, and has the face of a lizard, then I don't give a mummer's fart. Well, there are a bunch over there. You don't want to just go over there and see what happens, given the fact that there are two of you watching, you know? Yeah, Zuku. Shoo, don't bother me. If the Amalja overruns us, I'm blaming you. For me? You shouldn't have. Sorry. A suspicious masked man. As a matter of fact, I caught a glimpse of someone fitting that description during patrol. Well, I couldn't quite make out whether it was a man or not, what with the mask and robe, but assuming it was he was talking with some Alamegans. I assumed he was one of them. Probably figured it was a priest of Ralgar or something. Iris Ultima, huh? That's what I said about people actually using names from the games for their own characters. Figure one out on your own. It's not hard. And if you can't, well, I love you anyway. That's a lot of streams back to back. Did one on Wednesday, did one on Saturday, now one on Sunday. But then again, I was a little lazy the earlier week, so that's me having penance for that. Oh, but them's the breaks, kids. Ah, you're back! So did my lookouts have ought to share with you. That doesn't sound like much to go by. If you were to get any further in your investigation, seems to me you'll need the cooperation of the Alamegans. For this, you'll need to win their trust, and that won't be an easy task. You don't say. Foot in the door. Giselbert would offer you some advice regarding your investigation. And a new weapon to boot. Which is much worse than what I have. We are a little behind on the main quest, as it turns out. So, you're determined to press on with your investigation. They have some advice to offer. As I said before, you won't get far without the Alamegans' trust, and the best way to win their trust is to get a compatriot of theirs, someone they respect, to vouch for you. Coin does the talking in Ul'dah, but the Alamegans are bound by something far stronger, if not as tangible, a common purpose. That purpose is, of course, the liberation of their home from the Garleans. Gundobald belongs to the Alamegan resistance, so your best bet would be someone who's part of the same crew. If you know any well-connected people, you might want to start by asking them. So, speaking with Minfilia then. But yeah, here is our introduction to the Alamegan resistance, which are heavily involved in Stormblood, the previous expansion, with the next one being Shadowbringers, which is going to be out by late June, if I recall. Seeing as now I've managed to get some extra spending income, I should actually deal with that pre-order before it's too late. So anyway, we're gonna take our shortcut back to the Waking Sands. Thank God for that thing. Going all the way from Horizon would actually be really awful now. I've done it enough. Thanks, hon. That's a rather convoluted thing to find, actually. You'd think that it'd have taught people early on a better way to go there, despite the story reasons why the Waking Sand actually doesn't have an Aetheryte. And of course, riding a ship to actually get there would be convoluted enough. Hey, Tataru! Good evening, Kukumo. I trust your investigation is faring well. Gotta be nice to your secretaries. Now then, entrance to the Solar. Infilia. Welcome back, Kukumo. How fares the investigation? I see. Given all that they have suffered, it is of little wonder that the Almegan refugees have lost faith in their fellow man. They have had their homeland taken from them, and for the past 2 decades have had to see it remain in the enemy's clutches. To compound matters, none of the 3 city-states have the means to take in all those who were displaced. As a result, a great many Alamegans now live in the margins of society, suffering poverty and discrimination. Well, that more could be done to ease their hardship. I fear that nothing short of reclaiming their homeland would be a lasting solution. But let us deal with one problem at a time. Returning to the matter of your investigation, it just so happened that there is an Alamegan native among the Scions. I should be pleased to introduce him to you. Ah, that's nice. But yeah, those are actually serious subjects, which is one of the hallmark of this particular story. They often touch on subjects that are actually a little more serious than you'd expect from such a game, mostly politics and such, but in this case poverty and discrimination as well. Minfilia wants to introduce you to an Alamegan member of the Scions. Your Alamegan comrade is named Heribert. He joined our cause in the hopes that he might find a way to liberate his homeland. While he spares no effort towards that endeavor, I have no doubt that he would be glad to assist you. If I recall correctly, Heribert is currently between missions. Try looking for him in the storage area. We've spoken to him a while ago. I actually find it a little strange that they aren't sending us to Arenvald, but then again he is half Garlean, so he might not actually be very well received among his fellows. There's Heribert. If it isn't Kukumo Lalakumo, the Scion's rising star, is there aught I can do for you? You wish to win the trust of the people of Little Mhigo? That is a daunting task, my friend, even for our own countrymen. I would like nothing more than to help, but I'm afraid my name no longer carries weight with that lot. I used to be a member of the Alamigan Resistance, you see, but I left in favor of joining the Scions. Though my allegiance may have shifted, my purpose remains ever the same, the liberation of Mhigo. Yet whatever my reasons were, I abandoned my comrades, and they'll have nothing to do with me. Now, while I may have no more friends in the Resistance, I know someone who does. Her name is Albreda, and she is a resident of Quarry Mill. Say my name when you meet her, and she won't lead you astray. That's nice. So, off to Quarry Mill, which I'm pretty sure we actually have an Aetheryte to. Yep. So this is kind of a side trip to Gridania in order to actually get going in Little Mhigo. And here we are. And there's Albreda. Tall glass of milk, that one. Eh? You want me to introduce you to the Resistance? Ha! Why the hell should I do that? Give me just one reason. Harrybird sent you? That worthless whoreson. Ouch, that's nasty. He abandoned his comrades, his woman, and now he has the gall to ask me for a favor. Simply incredible. I realize Harrybird was only doing what he felt was right. He's a good man, and if he trusts you, then that's all I need to know. You see that bloke there? That's Mifrid, captain of the Resistance. I hope he can give you what you need. Well, that's nice. And I can't take any of those elegant coins, unfortunately. There's Mifrid and Faramund. Back in the days, Alamegans had a tendency to go bare chest. I don't know why. Some of ours have had to remain outside the hamlet. They're hardened soldier after all, and no strangers to discomfort, but it's a trying experience being in a place that loves you not. Mifrid. Killing him softly. Mifrid needs help tending a wounded brother. Hi, I'm Mifrid, a proud man of the Alamigan Resistance. What business do you have with me, adventurer? Captain, it's Galleon, sir. His wound's gone infested, and he's burning up. I don't think he's got much time. Gods damn it, I asked the villagers for aid, got on my knees and begged, but they refused to lift a finger. If Galleon dies, his blood is on their hands. These Quarry Mill cravens will turn a blind eye to our plight, but they might listen to Albreda. I fear my anger will prevent me from rightly convincing anyone at the moment. I realize we scarce know each other, but this is a matter of life and death. Please, adventurer, go to her and try. Hey, lady. One of Mifrid's in bad shape, you say? I'm sorry, but there's naught I can do. I want to help, truly I do. They're my countrymen after all, but that means going against the elementals' will. I've been at Quarry Mill long enough to know how right terrible their being can be. I couldn't forgive myself if everyone gets banished because of me. If there's anyone who can help you, it'd be Charline, the Hamlet's resident healer. If you take the matter to her, might be as she'll listen, though I wouldn't get my hopes up. Well, so all of those people actually going to the Palace of the Dead. Well, there's Charline. You wish to aid the Alamegans. You are possessed of a kind heart, adventurer, but I'm afraid I have not the authority to grant you your wish. This authority belongs only to the Elementals, eternal guardians of the Twelveswood. All outsiders, be they babes at the breast of men or men grown, are judged of a night whether they may have a place beneath the boughs. Alas, the Alamegans' petition has been denied. Harsh though it may seem, they do not have leave to receive the wood's bounty. Ever has it been since times immemorial, and ever shall it be. But that sounds a little arbitrary. That's how it's to be then. The bloody hero might as well kill Galleon herself. Spit on the elementals and spit on their bloody will. I cannot wait until the resistance is free of this place. Aw, don't be like that, dude. This is actually better than what I've got. I think. Yep, definitely better, I think. Helping Horn. Mefred needs your help to save a wounded comrade. I led my men to Quarry Mill, hoping to find refuge. Instead, we've found indifference. The cold-blooded bastards here wants us out, and I can't oblige them soon enough. The problem is, some of mine aren't fit to travel. Hell, Scallion can't even stand. As you well know, the people of this accursed hamlet won't help us, so I've no choice but to turn to you, adventurer. In my homeland, long antelope horn is a traditional remedy with poison-purging properties. If you could bring me, say, 4 horns, I'd be forever in your debt. Well, let's do that then. Try to find an entrance that will lead us to the right place. Like as not, it will be that way. For those of you that are interested, there's actually an interesting quest here, looking about into the origin of Odin. This is something that we'll visit a little later on. Being probably at level 50, as it might take a while. Hee. One dead stag coming up. Flashing people. Shield swipe. Such majestic beasts. Such shame, really. Considering I only needed to kill 2 to get 4 horns. But then again, you know, bears got 4 paws, and sometimes you just get a good one. That's how RPGs work. World of Warcraft has actually made an effort on that. Now I know tonight I've spoken a lot about World of Warcraft, but I'm only talking about it because it's an MMO I know of. I actually haven't even played the latest expansion, although I've played the one before. Come back every now and then, just to see what's going on. But really, my heart is still in Final Fantasy XIV. Despite the fact that I don't play nearly as much as I should, but that should change once the expansion hits. Here's Mefred. Ah, you're back! Tell me you've got 4 horns with you. You're a godsend, adventurer. Praise Ralgr, there's at least 1 man in this place who gives a damn. Now we just need to find a way to prepare them. You wouldn't happen to know a man named Buscaron, would you? Some comrades of mine told me about him once. They said he never turns away folk in need, no matter where they're from. Seeing as he runs a tavern, he's like to have the tools to make the medicine. I'd be grateful if you could take the horns over to him and have them ground down. When that's done, bring the powder back and give it to Faramund here. Godspeed. If we must. And we do know Buscaron. Or Buscaroon. But then against not too well. Off we go. I don't remember, did I get the Eaterite for Camp Tranquil? I feel like I did. Yeah, I did. Good on me for actually thinking ahead. Although I don't really remember much story quest that actually sent us there. Well, this will be necessary at some point anyway. Even if we're not white mages. Hey, Han. Ah, Kukumo! Ever a sight for sore eyes? How fares the adventuring? Rolling in the coin like there's no tomorrow, no doubt. You've got something to show me. That. Well, These looks like good old antelope horns. Need them ground down to make medicine, you say? Here's a better idea. I'll give you some of the stuff I have in my stores. I'm no stranger to the remedy. An Almegan friend once used it to treat my festering wound, years and years ago. Safe to say he saved my life. What's that? This is for an Almegan soldier in Quarry Mill? Heh, so it comes full circle. Well, I hope it helps the poor sod that needs it. Oh, and don't worry your little head off about payment. I still owe you a deal more than you owe me, I reckon. So basically there's no consequence for doing that at all, it appears. So this whole thing about the elementals was just hogwash. That doesn't seem right. Cassandra Persephone. Or Persephone. That's actually really clever, I like that. But then again, I like puns. It is well to see you return. Have you the medicine for our brother? We sure do. Gods bless you, adventurer. I'll see that Galleon receives treatment at once. Hopefully this will allow the captain to rest easier. It has been a terrible burden on him, trying to keep every man alive. You've done us great kindness, friend. Aww. He ain't heavy. My friend needs your help to find a missing comrade. Adventurer, Galleon has gone missing. He's nowhere to be found. He shouldn't be walking about, not with those wounds. If he doesn't get the proper medicine and rest, his condition's like to deteriorate to where it was before, or worse. We need you to help us find him, and quickly. Start by asking Albreda. Might be as the woman's seen something. Ah, finally! It's about time you came asking about Galleon. I watched him leave Quarry Mill some time ago, and he left me this sealed letter before he went off. Made me swear not to open it until someone came asking. My brothers, I cannot bear to be a burden any longer. This is why I must leave you all. Do not worry for me. Just find your way safely to little Mhigo. Blast it. Would I had known what he was thinking, I'd have stopped this folly myself. The love Galleon bears for his brothers is so strong, he's willing to sacrifice himself for them. Make no mistake, entering the wood in his weakened state is suicide. You don't say. Out in the wilds, alone? That fool! That great big sentimental fool! Spoony Bard. My men and I will scour the wood for Galleon. Please help us find him before something terrible happens. Off we go. Off to that weird cave that leads to Earth's gift, which is pretty much the place most associated with Odin here. Didn't get far, did he? Watch out! Goblin! Goblin ambusher. And not an Illuminati either, but bandit. Bomtas. It's actually rather dangerous with a wounded dude nearby. Figured that shrapnel wouldn't be very good for him. Firecracker shower. Alright. Sohan. Galleon. Captain? But why? You should all be on your way. Who do you take us for? We're Alamegans, and Alamegans never forsake one another. Hardships be damned. Remember the oath we swore, goddamn it. The oath to reclaim our homeland. We'll set foot on Alamegan soil again. Together, or not at all. Do you understand me? Yes, sir. Good. Let us return to our brothers. Oh, and don't even think that you'll get off lightly. As soon as you're healed, I'll give you such a thorough trashing you'll wish we didn't find you. Aww. I can thank you enough for saving Galleon. I will see you back at Quarry Mill. Back to Quarry Mill. Because I'm too lazy to go on Chocobo. here we are. Hey, hon. Kellyan's expected to make a full recovery. We'll linger here till he's strong enough to take to the road again. As much as I mislike this place, beggars can be choosers. More high potion, of course. They've got these echo drops, which actually cures most instances of silence. But really, those aren't really used anymore, so yeah. There's this. Add strength, but not constitution. But strength could be useful anyway. Method wishes to repay your kindness. Now that things are relatively settled, I seem to recall that you wanted something from me. You've proven a true friend to my people. Ask of me anything, and it's yours, so long as it's mine to give. The cooperation of the people of Little Mhigo, that's all. Far be it from me to question your desires, of course. Very well, I will provide you with a letter to show to Gundobald. The old bear was my mentor when I first joined the Resistance. He's intimidating to those who don't know him, but he takes care of his own. I've no doubt that he will do all in his power to aid you. And that will lead us back to Little Mhigo in the next stream, so I'm afraid that's gonna be it for the time being. If you like what you're seeing, maybe follow the stream, maybe leave a comment if you're on YouTube, and that was the Great Pumpkin. You all have a pleasant time now. Bye bye!